Ladies and gentlemen, the Bellamy Brothers. Come on, David and Howard. Woohoo! Have a seat. I think your mics are on. They got you a towel there, but I don't think we're going to be working that hard. No, I hope not, too. Have a seat there, Mr. Howard. Well, how many times have y'all played this cruise? Oh, wow, these are low seats.
Check.
We think it's 5 or 6 times
Yeah?
on this particular cruise. We've done other cruises as well, but this is the most consistent one we've ever done. So
We've lost track of a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
But,
yeah, like the
we're
60s.
going to get to that a little bit later on, if you know what I'm
We
saying.
started losing track about the 60s.
I just love that these fellows are international stars. I mean, we've loved them here for years, but when you all go overseas, well, first off, I want to do something real timely, and then we'll come back to the overseas. Who's going to watch the Super Bowl? Yeah, probably everybody. Whose music are you going to see in ads leading up to the Super Bowl?
Ours.
Theirs. Woo! Do you want to tell the story?
Well, actually, we just found out about it. Is the odd thing. Just about a week ago, we were at the ranch shooting some video there, and my wife called me and said, "You better come up to the house." As an email from Budweiser.
Budweiser's on the phone.
Yeah. So, but they're doing like kind of a retro ad on. It's about one of their new Clydesdales, that a little colt that's been born. And they're using Let Your Love Flow in the track. So and they just released the teaser, which we have on social media. You can see the teaser. But then they have, I think, 3 other versions. So it'd be fun.
That's going to be a lot of fun to see.
And they're bringing back their old motto, "This Bud's for You."
Yeah,
And they're gonna
nice.
Thank goodness.
the newborn colt.
That's good. Well, let your love flow. Do you want to just dive in right there? Because am I understanding that it'll be 50 years later in the year from the release of Let Your Love Flow? Can you believe that? 50 years?
Yeah, this fall.
I can. Yeah.
Yeah, this fall marks the 50th anniversary of when we recorded "Let Your Love Flow," and it went number 1 in most of countries in the world by the spring of '76, which would have been, what's this, 25? Yeah, so it's exactly 50 years this fall, like around September, October.
You know, there aren't very many country artists that are international. You know, you've got Dolly Parton, of course. But to know how famous you all are internationally, they travel. Did you go anywhere last year? I know Judy Seal, their manager, takes them around lots of places.
Yeah, we went a lot of places last year. I think we did a Norwegian tour last year, and then this year we're doing Norway and Switzerland, and we're doing possibly South Africa and India maybe. And
What artist can play South Africa and India that is in our genre? Just them.
Better like Curry.
What, better like Curry?
Yeah.
yeah, we got our Curry quota up
Yeah.
quite a bit.
But
What's
you know, the old artists, back to Jim Reeves. We even played Sri Lanka. And they still play Jim Reeves.
They don't
music,
even know Jim Reeves is
but
dead in Sri
a
Lanka.
hit, yeah.
They think he's a new artist. I mean,
Yeah.
they play Jim Reeves on the radio
Yeah.
with everybody. It's like amazing.
But a hit used to be, that was before charts, and a hit was a hit. Marty Robbins, his old hits that were crossed over, so all the international people heard them. We got fortunate enough to have a hit over there, and
What do you think? I mean, we all love the song, but especially internationally. I spent this amount of time in Japan, and I sang a little bit while I was over there because that's how I kind of got to Nashville. I think I told the story of being at Opryland and a singer, but they love melodies.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you keep hearing from?
That's
Yeah.
exact right on, because melody disappeared from most music recently, and it's coming back a little now, I think. But yeah, they can relate to melodies. Even
When we
though they
started-
don't understand the lyric, they can hum along with the melody. So
When we started going over there, and like the end of '75 and beginning of '76, a lot of people didn't even, didn't speak English. Nowadays, a lot of the world speaks English, really pretty well. But back then, we go to Germany or Switzerland or somewhere like that, or the Netherlands, and they didn't speak any English, but they could sing all the words to every song. So, and a lot of them learned English from music.
Yours especially.
Yeah.
What do you think? Well, what's your favorite country other than right here with us? What's your favorite country to play in? Where do you feel most at home other than the USA?
It's really tough because there's, all countries, all people like that. Really, the important things are the same for us. They want a happy family. They want, and there's good people we've realized in every country.
Yeah.
Some of the governments are not so
Right.
cool, but
Right.
but there's good people around, and so we have been to Switzerland probably more than any country.
Switzerland's kind of a second home to us.
Yeah.
And sometimes we literally jet back and forth between Switzerland and Texas, and we don't know which one we play the most. but it's always been really, we've had a lot of success there in really weird ways in Switzerland. So we recorded an album with a guy that we didn't even know. His name's Gola. And we recorded an album with him, and some of it we did before we even met him, because we were passing tracks back and forth by email and stuff. And the record company there talked us into doing this project, And at first we're like, well, I don't know. This guy's kind of a rocker, and I don't know. He probably doesn't know our music or anything. And we went back and forth. So we cut a few tracks, and then he flew over to the States and visited us in Florida, and we became really good friends. And we finished the album up and released it, and the thing went double platinum. And it's like just really weird stuff has happened there, And we've always been, we've got the key to the city in almost every town in Switzerland. But it's always been really, really a great place for us, and it's so beautiful,
Is there something from Switzerland that you have to bring your wives, your girlfriends, your friends? Is it?
No, you have to take them with you.
Yeah, you have to take them.
Now
No
those
souvenirs.
dates you do out in West Texas, they won't go. It's
They want to hit those Versace shops,
Oh, they want to ski down those Alps
Yeah,
and have
yeah.
really cute ski outfits.
That's it.
Am I giving myself away here? Snow skiing. Something that just happened back in Nashville that we were all just tickled about, and I know your fans are tickled, and I know you're tickled. This man just got inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Congratulations, David.
Yeah, it was pretty shocking.
Was it?
Yeah, well, I was surprised actually, because I've written quite a few hits, but most of them have been like what I would call in-house. We've done most of the songs, and so I'm
except
not
for Spiders and Snakes.
Yeah, except Spiders and
Oh,
Snakes.
Jim
Stafford.
Stafford, yeah.
But you guys aren't old enough to remember that.
Yeah, we are. Oh, yeah, we are. We might have to get you to sing a little bit.
I actually wrote that song. About Howard came in drunk one night,
Howard.
and
So was he.
we were when we would get a little tipsy, we would go out and sleep in this old hay barn we had, so that our parents wouldn't find us. We had sleeping bags in there.
Oh, wow.
And so when we come in a little tipsy, we go out there and stay in that old hay barn. And so we were out there, and the next morning we woke up, and there's a chicken snake that crawled out of Howard's sleeping bag.
What?
And he almost put a new
I
door
crawled
in.
out too. Made a new door.
So,
Oh Lord.
so that's actually where that song began.
I don't like spiders and
Yeah.
snakes.
So it was Howard was the inspiration on that.
You and a chicken snake.
Me and a chicken snake. Some prefer rat snake. I don't know
Yeah,
which
he was.
Snake.
Yeah, it could have been a rat snake.
The big black ones. Was that in Florida? Did you grow up there?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
grew up in Central Florida.
Is it the same place that you are now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been in our family 150 years.
Wow.
Sure has. Yeah.
What is life like there at your ranch?
It's
Well, it's really
basic.
the reason we never moved to Nashville, because it's really deep roots, and we've got got some of those big old giant live oak trees. This storm last year tested a few of them, but they stood up. And so it's been impossible to leave there. You know, it's still, after all these countries, we've toured 72 countries, and we always come back to there.
Yeah.
So you can't go home, but we did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. They also shoot a TV show from there. Have y'all seen, is it Honky Tonk Ranch?
Honky Tonk Ranch, yeah.
Have you seen it? It was on Circle for a while. It was, now it's still on Circle,
Yeah.
and you can still see it. Do you like being TV producers and TV stars?
Oh, I would use that term loosely. It's mostly nonsense, but
It's rural nonsense.
well, we have a
is
lot
what
of
it
Rural
is.
nonsense.
we have a lot of fun. You know, we have this cousin who you know, helps us at the ranch sometimes, and he's a rancher and a cattleman, and he's completely crazy. And so we feature him doing things like we had him bubble wrap a jackass and stuff like that. So it's
No, wait. We have to know how that went.
There was a reason you bubble wrapped him.
yeah, the jackass ate some M80s, and we didn't want him to
Not
blow
really.
up. We didn't want him to. We didn't want him to blow up Howard's barn because he was in the barn. So we
I
got
told you it was nonsense.
Yeah. So we got our cousin to bubble wrap him, and then after he got him bubble wrapped, we let him out. You know, we let him out into the back pasture, so but he was all right. He gave him a dose of castor oil or something.
It worked. It's figured itself out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Man.
No
that-
animals were harmed in the filming.
Thank
We
goodness.
spotted skunk ape on
What?
the show. Skunk ape. In Florida, it's not Bigfoot, it's a skunk ape.
Have y'all heard of that before?
Skunk ape is our Bigfoot. That's
Yeah.
we have
'Cause we live in a swamp.
in the swamps. There's sightings of skunk apes every now and there. So we had a sighting on the show one time.
You did? What does a skunk ape look like?
I don't know, but he don't want to piss him off.
Yeah.
You didn't want to get too close to
No,
it.
no.
That's great. What was it about? I mean, you guys have been touring for so long. What is television? What's the common ground that you see that the music business and the TV business has? Or did something surprise you of, oh, I didn't know that it was like this to do a TV show?
Well, we definitely didn't know it was like this. So we had a few people offered to do a reality show on us, but it was always, every time that we got down to like what they wanted to do, it was nothing we would have done. You know, it was always like, no, we wouldn't do that. You know.
We
and
can truly take the credit and the blame if
So-
you don't like it for this show, because
So we said, how hard could this be? Famous last words in many of our. So we took it upon ourselves and just decided to do it ourselves. We literally just cranked it up one morning, and
it's kind of non-scripted, you know, get a running subject, and
Kinda.
run with it.
But
So-
you've had some other famous people on there, haven't
Oh,
you?
we've had lots of famous people on there.
Like
Yeah.
who?
I don't know if
Blake
they
Shelton,
probably
we had Blake
never will
Shelton
come
on the
back,
show.
but they've been on.
You might be
we-
wrapping them in bubble wrap, huh?
Yeah, we had Blake Shelton has done 2 episodes with us.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, good. You know, he's real shy, and I bet it was. I bet it was just super hard to get him
Yeah.
to
Oh
do
yeah,
anything.
it's
He's
hard
so
to bring,
introverted.
hard to bring him out.
Bring him out of his pull. Who
So-
else?
And John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard. We actually did a whole Dukes of Hazzard episode.
Did you?
Yeah, where John comes down to the ranch and we rent this orange Dodge for him when he gets there, and we put the doors where they won't open, so he has to slide through the windows, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Who else has been on there with you?
All sorts of people. Dennis Quaid
Nice.
has been on there, and we were way below his standards because he's a real actor, but.
But it's reality. You just be who you are,
Yeah,
right?
he's a great guy.
He really is.
He's a lot of fun, and we cut a duet together.
You did. Now
Yeah.
I have not heard that. What is it? What's the name of it?
I Can Help. It's
The old Billy Swan.
Oh, I can help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
got
cut that.
We
Oh,
we cut
wow.
a covers album. We did one covers album in our whole career, and Dennis came in and sang "I Can Help" with us, and we shot the episode. And
When did that record come out?
4 years or so, 4 or 5
4 years
yeah.
ago.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Wow. Who else did you have on there, and who surprised you that, wow, that they did it with us, or that you didn't know that they could sing that well or pull that off?
Well, we knew he could sing this well. We had Eddie Raven was on with us too, which is a
Eddie,
good
Eddie
friend of
Raven,
ours.
T. Graham Brown's
T.
been
Graham's
on there.
been on there.
Mm-hmm.
Tanya.
Oh God, Tanya. Yeah.
Don't forget Tanya.
Yeah. Yeah. We had
Our
a big
home
day.
was never the same.
No,
after
no.
Tanya.
Would you like to expand on that a little bit?
No.
No. No.
You would
Yeah.
think Tanya would be old enough by now to slow down a little, but that's not the case.
No.
And Mickey Gilly. Mickey was.
Oh, God rest his soul.
We
he
had
was-
Gilly on. What was that? First, right on the last of the first season, right?
Yep. And
And he.
Mickey sang in my barn. I'll never forget where
Yeah.
that spot is. He sang.
Aw.
Yeah, it sounded great. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You also duetted recently with one really famous man and a smooth singer and a wonderful man, Mr. Gene Watson.
Yeah.
Did you not?
Yeah.
How'd
We
that
did.
go? And
It-
how'd it come about?
It's still
It went-
going.
It went
Yeah.
great.
still
It
going.
went great. Even the video on it has like probably at least a couple million views on it. now.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a really nice duet. We've known Gene for forever, but we had this old song, and it just always, we did a duet with John Anderson, the No Country Music for Old Men,
That's right. I do know that.
and it was really popular. It has like 16 million hits on YouTube, and when we had this other song, and I said, man, I think Gene could sing this, and so we just called him up and worked it out, and he sang the heck
We
out
didn't
of it.
feel that Gene's ever gotten his due,
Gene.
and he's
Yeah,
as good as anybody ever
he's
was.
just
So.
one of the best country music singers ever.
Truly. Smooth. That real smooth
Yeah.
sound that he has.
And
Yeah.
tone, he's got a tone. It's
His
Gene
tone,
Watson.
yeah.
Yeah, and they were on Honky Tonk Ranch as well. John Anderson and Gene.
Gene did it
Because we
too.
shot some parts of an episode around the video we were making and stuff. So.
I want y'all to be thinking about maybe some questions that you might want to ask the fellas, and we'll come to you in just a little bit. When we're finished, chewing the fat up here. What else is going on in your world? I tried to make sure I knew that you got the 50th of Let Your Love Flow, your songwriters induction. You've got Gene Watson, and you guys are always doing something. So I know I'm missing out on something.
Well, we try to stay busy.
It's an
We-
understatement.
Our touring really keeps us, I think, the most busy because we did 140 shows last year,
Good grief.
and this year's probably close to the same.
Now, younger artists don't even do that many.
Oh, younger artists, they're a pain in the ass. I hear. Listen, I
Struck a nerve.
I hear these guys in interviews going, "Yeah, I've been on the road a year. I got to take some time off." Well, my suitcase has been packed since 1976. We've been. Howard and I used to fly to Germany, and they'd call us while we were there and say, "Hey, you got to be in Tokyo next weekend," and so we'd take flights directly to Tokyo.
No more whining
Some
for
of these,
younger
no,
guys.
God, I hear some of these people, I laugh. It's like comical. They don't know what touring is.
No, they don't, do they?
Oh, and the older artists, heck, the Stones are still out there, for God's sake.
Yeah, yeah. Age really hasn't. Really,
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Willie's the king of all
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
yeah. I think he's 91 now, isn't he? Yeah. But those people like Willie, it's just born and bred in you. That's what you do. That's what, he'll do it till he dies, and that's.
Especially when you're not good for anything else.
Yeah,
That's where he was still at it. Yeah.
But y'all are cut from that same cloth.
We didn't know anything else. It's just what we did.
Is there a secret to? Life on the road is not easy. We're all on kind of vacation here and having fun, but life on the road. What's the hardest thing about it?
Getting up in the morning.
Really?
Well, it doesn't get easier as you get older, and the hard part about the foreign stuff is, of course, the time changes and dealing. When an older body gets used to something, it doesn't like to be changed. And
Yeah, it doesn't
you get over there and
understand
you're
jet
6
lag.
hours, 7 hours different times, and you're going to bed when you're supposed to be getting up, and vice
Yeah.
versa. So, and then you got to perform with that. So you don't just go over there; you got to perform and look like you know what you're doing.
See, these are the fellas that you need to ask about travel tips and, how do you pack a bag? Is there a secret to that for y'all? Do you
don't wanna
roll?
see my bag.
You really wouldn't want to see Howard's bag.
Do you roll or do you fold?
I usually roll my clothes. up.
Roll?
Yeah.
See, these are things I
But
want to
that's-
know.
But that's kind of what the military guys always did, and that's really the way that, I mean, they pack quick and get out, and. Yeah.
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 What is a comfort of home that you don't leave the house, you don't get on the road until you know you have this one thing?
Oh,
That's a good one.
for me, I have I have an infrared pad, and I have to have it on my back after a show because
Wow.
I've had a guitar hanging there 50 years.
Yeah,
so
you have.
sometimes, most people don't realize that we have what our chiropractor calls guitar shoulder, and if you've had a strap there for 50 years, you start to feel it. So
Yeah, you do.
yeah.
For different reasons, right? Yeah. What about you, Howard? What do you have to have that
What
you
I-
won't even?
His gummies.
Enough said.
I was going to get to that a little bit later on. How are the old hippies? Wait, what's the name of it? Old hippies.
Oh, hippie stash.
Old hippie stash. How's it going?
It's going
Good.
great. Actually. It's going great.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the company started. We worked on trying to do in Florida where we are now, I guess technically, we worked on doing a medical marijuana company. Ever since it became legal to do it, and finally ran across this company that would distribute our product. And oddly enough, the weirdest thing, we were actually on tour with Blake Shelton in 2020, and they shut the tour down because of COVID.
Yeah.
Me and Howard and John Anderson and Trace Atkins and Blake, everybody was standing around backstage, and they were fixing to do start sound checks, and all right, we're shutting everything down. And literally the next day, we're at the ranch talking about where we're going to plant our garden. So
Not that kind of garden.
no, not that. So the company we've been talking to called us. I mean, right after we got home, and said, "Hey, we want to crank up the medical marijuana your line." So we did a line of 3 or 4 different flower strains, and then our big deal is that we do have our new addition is we have a gummy now. We have called a groovy gummy.
A groovy gummy.
Yeah. No.
It is downtown here, oddly enough. So.
Actually, I think Key West has one of the.
Yeah, there's one
There's
here.
a True
I
Leaf
can
shop.
attest.
I think because that's who our sales are.
Well, sir, we don't leave until 10:30.
You may not leave at all if you
Yeah.
can go there.
You can take a trip and never leave the farm on one of them.
That's fantastic. And performing, did y'all see their show to kick off the deck?
Thank you.
That's the. I've only done this for 4 years, but that's the fullest that deck has been. I had to worm around just to try to get some pictures of you guys because we were packed in there, right? Just enjoyable. What is the best compliment that a fan can give you after all these many years?
Well, just come to the show. When they come,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that means a lot.
Yeah,
And-
if everybody's having fun, that's really all
really
we're
it.
after.
And I must say, we've done a few of these, but this cruise lines they really got their stuff together through the years. They've kept tweaking it and tweaking
They
it.
do, don't they?
And
Yeah, they got it down.
Production is good, and that helps us a whole lot. And
The what is good?
the production.
Yes, the
and
production is very good.
Yeah.
I concur. But you also had a pretty famous, I mean, ship is full of famous people, but I looked up and somebody goes, "That's Coach Schweitzer."
Oh, yeah.
And I went, "Barry Schweitzer?"
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a buddy of
He's
ours.
a buddy of ours. We've
Who's here?
we got to get him on Honky Tonk Ranch. He's
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta get Coach. Yeah, he's only 86. We better hurry up. But,
You guys big football guys?
yes, I love football.
You love
yeah,
football?
and we've been friends with the coach for a long time. You know, when we play in Oklahoma, he comes out to the casino and to see us and stuff. He's quite a character.
You know, the hang, my husband is a musician, and when you talk about the hang, it's your backstage vibe, it's not just how you are on stage. What's the hang like for your band members? What do you think?
When our band members, there's no telling where they're hanging or what they're doing.
Hanging or what they're doing right
We just
now.
tell them, be sober for the show.
Yeah,
we're-
be sober for the show.
Yeah, try to remember the songs.
Just try to remember the songs.
Yeah, we don't really have any strict rules or anything. We just
we got a great bunch
We
really
yeah,
there.
you do.
we do. Most of the guys that play with us really like playing, and they've been around for a long time too. They're not as old as we are, but they're not too far behind us. So.
No, I don't think any of us are, I do want to go back to Let Your Love Flow, because the big anniversary this year, and no doubt that's been your signature song of your entire career. Some people don't know how that song came to be, how you all... Will you paint that picture in case I remember the story, but I wanted to share that because that's your song.
Well, we were in the studio cutting some demos, and we were the cool thing is when we moved to Hollywood off of a dirt farm to downtown Hollywood. Wow. So
Beverly Hills, actually. if
Beverly
you can
Hills, right
imagine
on the
that.
border of Beverly Hills and Hollywood. So you can imagine that, and
And planted a garden.
we planted a garden, and the police came out.
And not that kind of garden again.
And the police
And
came
we
out?
got busted. Yeah, we got busted for planting some squash
Planting
and
Yeah.
some
we had,
corn and different
Eggplant?
things.
Yeah, I hear you.
and we were working on Jim Stafford's TV show. I was writing music for it.
I remember that show.
And he had a summer replacement show for the Smothers Brothers. So I was working on that. Howard was road managing, going on the road with Jim. And we were in the studio with Neil Diamond's band, because Neil was on hiatus for a couple of years. He wasn't on the road. And his band used to, do recording sessions and stuff. And we became buddies with all of them. So we were in the studio.
We had a common habit.
Yeah, we had a lot
Habits.
we had a lot of bad habits together, but their drummer Dennis St. John, who played on all those, most of those great Neil Diamond records, he came over to us. We were cutting some demos, and he said, our roadie wrote this song you guys should hear, and he said it sounds just like something you would do,
Really?
and so we said, well, yeah, let's bring it by and let's hear it, And so he came by our apartment later on that night or the next day, and it was Let Your Love Flow. Because back then we had the reel-to-reels, you couldn't just email it to somebody off your phone. So he'd come over and put it on and played Let Your Love Flow. And Neil's band had played the original demo with Larry Williams, who wrote it, was Neil's roadie.
And it had been turned down by, Neil turned it down.
Neil turned it down, and Johnny Rivers.
Johnny Rivers turned it down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we thought when we heard the demo, said, "Man, that's one of the
Oh, yeah,
better
we said,
songs."
man, that's a great song. And
Positive.
He's a very rich roadie. He's the
Seriously.
richest roadie I can think of. Yeah.
Well, when you're number one in 70-something countries,
Yeah.
and this was before Spotify, all that, when records and writers and artists and producers got paid for their intellectual property. Am I on my soapbox here?
No,
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
exactly right.
That good for him.
Preach on.
I will, because it's not right. It's not right that things change like that, because it is your creativity.
Yeah.
How big did that song change your career? Is that a stupid question?
Well,
because I know it did.
We didn't even know how big it was going to be. I mean, we didn't really have a clue. We were sitting around in our apartment there in Hollywood, and the record company called us, or our management called us and said, "You need to shoot a little demonstration film for Holland." And we said, "Who's Holland?" You know, we didn't even know what they were talking about. You know, he said, "The Netherlands. They want a film." And so we got with this. They lined up this producer, and who later became a pretty big film.
Penelope Spheres,
Yeah,
who
Penelope.
did she did the movie of Jethro on from
She did the remake of the Beverly Hillbillies.
Beverly Hillbillies. She did the
Oh.
movie, yeah.
She became a pretty big director. But she shot the Let Your Love Flow, which was a music video. They didn't even call them music videos then. And they sent it to Europe, and about a month later, they called us and said, we need to go to, you guys need to go to Europe. When we got to Europe, it was the strangest thing. We checked in the hotels, and went and did these TV shows. And back then in Europe, they'd show a TV show. And it'd be
3
on-
channels then.
It'd be on everywhere. And we when the next morning when we were checked out to go somewhere else, we couldn't get out of the hotel because everybody had seen the show and they had mobbed the hotel. And I mean, it was like almost overnight, and especially like in Germany and stuff. It was really huge. And
So your career basically started overseas
yeah,
because they just went
Yeah, they were the
gangbusters.
first to play it.
I think Holland may have been
And
the
Hol-
very
and Holland.
and England.
And we spent a lot of time in Amsterdam.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I won't dig into that one. I'll just let that one slide right on by.
I'll tell. He mentioned Willie, or I'll tell you a funny thing, and I know this to be true because we knew a lot of Willie's guys. But Willie had a note in his rider, in his contract, that all of his European tours started in Amsterdam.
Really?
Yeah,
I wonder why.
that's where he kicked off every tour.
Wow. Well, what's on deck for the Bellamy's this year? How many shows? You looking forward to some particular ones, or do you have something special that's coming on the horizon?
Well, this being our 50-year
Yep.
year, which is, we got a few new things. Our production, we're going to be adding a few of the new songs and a lot more to our show, and
Good.
and because we've basically they always want to hear the old hits, of course, and we understand that, but we're going to add a few new things to entertain
Good.
ourselves as well.
Yes.
And and that, and 3 big foreign tours as we were talking. So
That'll
know,
keep you busy a little
that'll
bit.
keep you busy. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably do about the same amount of shows we did last year, but a little bit more foreign this year than we did last.
Did y'all notice this when you were watching them on the Lido deck? And I'm going to talk about you like you're not sitting here. Do they not sound great? Just your vocal. You
Oh, thank
still sound the same.
Thank you.
I don't care if you're 50, 60, 70, however old
80.
you are. 80. Doesn't matter. What do you do to still sound the same? Because not everybody is blessed like that, are they? No.
Well, we've been fortunate.
We have
really have.
We have been fortunate.
Yeah, and we literally both just got over that damn bug that everybody had. So, but
You can't tell
yeah,
it.
we've been very fortunate, and
A lot of singers, I know a lot of singers that have trouble with the voices. Larry Gatlin's an old friend. He had 3 or 4 surgeries, for vocal nodes, and I've known people who've had that. But we've been really fortunate never to have that. I think a lot of it is our music is not really. We're not straining. We're not Pavarotti.
he doesn't sing the high perch.
Yeah. But it's not.
Speak for yourself, huh?
But we're still in the same original key.
Yeah, we are all. We do everything in the original key. So far.
That is huge.
Yeah.
Y'all know that, right? Still in the original key.
Some days I wish we'd lower them, but. But overall.
But yeah, you're right. The dynamic. You're not going up into the stratosphere in any of your songs.
And when our music is smooth, it's kind of a
Easy.
smooth. It's not as. There's a lot of different styles of singing, and sometimes you hear singing. Oh, I wish I could sing like that, because you love that. I love those like that big raspy Joe Cocker voice or
Yeah.
something like that, you
Yeah.
know. But we sound kind of like we sound, you know. It's the only way we can sound.
And you sound like you talk.
Right.
Do you recognize that too? Some people don't. Some people do, and that's just, to me, that's just a sign of an authentic, you know, this is my voice. This
I've
is what
heard
I...
that one. I like that.
Yeah. I want to take some questions for you all, for the fellas, till we have to let them go. You know that they're performing tomorrow night, right, at the World Stages. So I hope you're going to come. Yes, sir.
So we were recently up in your neck of the woods, and we stopped at a red light and saw, was it Bellamy Brothers property?
The Boulevard?
And we turned right. I suppose we're going past the farm.
Yeah, we live up off the Boulevard.
Was born there.
Yeah, that's our ranch around the corner up there.
My question is that because of your land, or did they live in 150 years ago?
Our we had a little political help, I think, on that. Our cousin was the county commissioner, and she named that.
Thank you, Sylvia.
I think it was the end of the '80s, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
around.
think it was around the end of the '80s. She named that.
We were a close family, and
Yeah.
she was a very special person, and she said,
But
"I'm gonna get-"
that's deserved, though, not just because
Well,
you're
she thought
family.
so.
She was
Sure, it's
She
deserved.
was so happy to do that.
Yep,
That was
she
one of
did
her
it.
big things she wanted to do. So it was
It's
great.
It's still there. Of course, development's headed our way now, so they're trying to do away with all.
Yeah, it's
the-
going to probably be a highway before long.
I
The
hope
Bellamy
not.
Brothers Highway.
Florida's developing too fast.
Oh, jeez. Anybody else?
The farm have a name of it?
It's just called Bellamy Brothers Ranch. Yeah, it was 150 years old last year, and I think it was 1870, right?
1870s
Is when our great grandfather
grandfather was.
He was wounded in the Civil War. He was from around Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and he brought his wife down after he was a prisoner of war, and they bought that old place.
Now, is he a Bellamy, or is he on your mom's side?
He was a Bellamy. He's Abraham.
Abraham Bellamy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
He
so
m-
cool.
and he had a wife named Susan Vereen, and I'm pretty sure she was the one who had the money. I know he was broke. He was an old buck private in the Confederate Army, and he married Susan Vereen, and they came from South Carolina in a buckboard in a wagon
Wow.
and bought that place.
Isn't that good that you know your roots like that?
That's
Well,
why we
yeah,
don't leave there.
it's taken a while, but we found out a lot of, and we know where he's buried. He's buried over in West Pasco County.
In Florida.
Him and the cemetery it's called the Vereen Cemetery, which was donated by her family.
Wow.
The Vereens were the family in Forrest Gump, where he was on the lawnmower mowing that lawn. That was
That's the Vereen
that was the
plantation.
Vereen plantation
Yeah.
in South
Oh,
Carolina.
really?
Yeah, where they filmed.
Where they filmed Forrest Gump?
The White House.
Yeah.
That was the
The
Vereen.
Run, Forrest Run
Yeah.
scene? Yeah, the running down the drive with a gravel drive.
Yeah,
Y'all
that's
know.
the Vereen plantation. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's your...
No, that's in South Carolina. That was our great grandmother's family.
You've got some legacy, some heritage that
Yeah,
goes...
We're old, but we don't remember her.
Do y'all have brothers and sisters? Is it just the two of you?
we lost our sister about 3-4 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ginger.
Ginger, she was
She could
was a
sing.
good singer also.
Aw.
She sang on a couple of our gospel tracks with us.
Wow, so it was Ginger and you two,
Yeah.
right?
She's
Very
the
good.
oldest, and I'm the youngest.
And she was
Stuck in the middle of
And
them.
you're the middle child.
Yeah.
But see, you don't appear to be like the middle child.
Well, is that a good thing?
Yeah, because I'm the middle child. And you're always the diplomat. Well, I mean, not that you
Yeah.
aren't the diplomat, but the middle child sometimes.
Peacemaker.
Yeah, the peacemaker. Who else would like to ask a question? Yes, sir.
The song, The Sand Collector. I listened to it, and I'm saying, oh, that's beautiful, talking about the city of Santa. Then I listened to it again, and you're talking about a woman.
Well,
Was her name Santa Fe? Oh, well, yeah, that's, you could interpret it that way.
it just refers to the city as a
The
woman.
city is a woman, yeah.
The qualifications in there, it's a woman.
Well, Well, these days
Well,
you don't know, do
We
you?
call her. We call her. We say her. We use the term her. You know, that's her. That's her. What do they call it?
Her, don't look at me.
Yeah, her verbs or adverbs or pronouns.
Her
or
pronoun.
Her pronoun.
Trump's going to straighten all that out. I can't do nothing about any of that.
Who else? Yes,
Sure.
please.
I've seen you guys way, way back. Was there a time I saw you and I think all you had was a drummer? You didn't have a full-fledged band, did you? In the beginning?
We've
The rest of the band may have
we've
been
had many
off that night.
different situations. I don't remember playing with just a drummer, because that's one of the that's the hardest spot to fill in a band. I might add because
Well, I do tend to forget.
don't we all?
I don't remember having us playing with just a drummer.
But we've played with very small bands before.
I mean, if we were doing something acoustic sometime, we could, we'll have somebody with a beatbox or something. But there's really no telling. After 50 years, we've forgotten half the stuff we've done.
They
Well,
are
thank
great,
you.
aren't they?
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I promise this man back here, and then we'll come to you and we'll let him go. Yes, sir.
When you first started out recording, was there a particular genre that you envisioned recording? And then, were you surprised that after Let Your Love Flow, that you never really had another huge pop hit?
Well,
Well, if you knew the political situation we were in, it
Yeah.
was, and there might have been a little soprano involvement.
we
Not from
basically
our-
signed to the mafia. So
Really?
it was
Well,
long story, but
Yeah.
Well, we have
you
time.
know,
was-
we were always a country band, but we played a lot of. We grew up playing we played R&B. We played in bands that, we played so much variety because that's the way you got jobs back then. If you could sing some R&B songs and some country songs and some
Yeah,
pop,
we did
rock and
all
roll,
top 40 stuff in
Yeah.
the old days.
then you could get more gigs that way. And we played,
Gotcha.
just everything we could. So we liked it all too. We always liked a variety of music.
And being from Florida here, we got a lot of island influence. We used to live in an orange grove as well as cattle ranch. We had oranges, and Jamaicans used to come over every year, and when the fruit ripened, and picked our fruit, and our dad would get out and pick fruit with them, and they would always, not really many words, but just sing all day in that Jamaican rhythm, that rhythmic stuff. And,
Yeah,
while
they-
they were working, it was
And they
amazing.
sing gospel, a lot of gospel
Yeah, a
stuff.
lot of gospel. It was
Yeah.
amazing to hear growing up, and I think some of that rubbed off.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I mean, we actually grew up singing in church, and we the first thing we ever sang was standing on the
Promises.
standing
Stand on the promises of God. Yeah, we've heard. Yeah, our dad was he was a musician, but he was basically a rancher and did cattle work for our ranch and other ranches, and he was in a band, and he'd have them over on Saturday night. They'd drink moonshine until our mother run them off, and we'd get up and go to church on Sunday morning. That's
I think some of us have done that too.
Yeah,
haven't we?
that's pretty much how we grew up. We listened to honky tonk music all night, and our dad played with two Czechoslovakian brothers named the Vodoskis.
David played accordion.
And
he was.
they would play accordion, and I
I'm
played
glad he
accordion
quit.
till I found out everybody hated it. And I better start singing instead.
Never forget those lessons when he was taking
Accordion lessons.
Yeah, those are tough.
Mm. Tough.
That's accordion is cool, isn't it?
Oh, it's very cool.
is.
It's
You play it? You did? It's great. I mean, it's portable. You can it's like a guitar. You can just take it anywhere. Well, just a little bit heavier. Just bring it out on the stage tomorrow night,
Oh,
David.
yeah, well, I don't think we'll
Just hit a little.
see much of that.
Is there anyone else before we let them go? Yes, sir.
I live in Plant City, so we consider you guys hometown.
Yes.
We're glad to have you go back to Strawberry Level.
oh, thanks, man.
But I met Noah and Jesse out in Nashville. Have you guys got any kind of project to do with them?
We don't have anything planned, but we have actually done a couple of things together. We've actually done, Jesse and Noah are my sons, by the way. We did a duet on a song called You're the World, and that we released on one of their albums and put on ours as well. And we've done a couple of things, and we've done shows together too. I think this year we're supposed to do a couple of things with them later on in the summer. But I think the Strawberry Festival we're actually there with Skinnerd. I think Skinnerd's playing that. We're playing that afternoon. They're playing that night or something. But yeah, they were just down here. They played in Dade City and Zephyr Hills right after Christmas, and I was able to get to one of those shows.
Well, I hope that all of you can catch a Bellamy Brothers show this year. If you have to go to Switzerland to see it, just ask me to come along with you, and I'll be glad to. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you,
Thank you,
David and
guys.
Howard, the Bellamy Brothers. Go see them tomorrow night at 6:30 and 9 o'clock. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, hon. It's great to see you.